Hello and a very warm welcome. For those of us in the academic world, whether you're a student, a researcher, or on the faculty, you understand the incredible pressure to focus, to achieve. But this can sometimes lead to this quiet sense of being disconnected, even when we're surrounded by people. Today, we're going to explore a very different kind of language, one designed to help us reconnect with our own inner experience.
So, let's take that invitation to heart. This isn't just about learning a new theory. It's really about starting a journey inward to begin exploring a place that is so intimately our own, and yet, for many of us, it remains a complete mystery.
So, where do we begin? Well, for a lot of us, especially in these really demanding intellectual environments, the starting point is a feeling of being, fragmented. We juggle our deadlines, our projects, our responsibilities, but often feel cut off from the very sense of being alive inside ourselves. This is where our journey starts, in this shared experience.
If you think about it, from our very first days in school, we're taught to concentrate, to filter things out, to focus, and we're told that this is the secret to success. And for some things, it absolutely is. But in the process of mastering that narrow focus, we can slowly forget a much more natural way of being. We trade this beautiful, open awareness for a tiny spotlight.
And this is the trade-off we make every single day. Let's say you're writing a paper. That's selective attention. It's that intense, task-focused cognition that we've been taught so well. But then there's open attention, that feeling you have when you're just walking through a park, totally receptive to everything around you and inside you. Our world tends to value the first one so much that we forget how to access our own natural, open state of awareness. And that's often where that feeling of disconnection comes from.
So, how do we find our way back? This brings us to a potential pathway. We're going to talk about something called Human Experience Augmenting Language, or HEAL. Now, it's not presented as some kind of magic cure, but more as a language, a practice, and a method to help us restore that connection we've lost and find a little more wholeness.
Okay, so first and foremost, HEAL is a language. And think about that for a second. We have these incredibly sophisticated vocabularies for our fields of study, right? But what words do we have for the subtle, constantly shifting landscape of our inner world? HEAL is designed to provide those words, to build a bridge between our brilliant verbal minds and that nonstop, non-verbal flow of feelings and sensations we all experience.
And building on that, HEAL is also a practice of discernment. This is where it becomes deeply personal. It gives you a structure for self-inquiry, and it encourages this beautiful idea of using our own bodies as living laboratories. So instead of just looking for answers in books or data outside of ourselves, we learn to pay attention to the rich data that our own direct experience is offering us, moment to moment.
And this next part is really crucial for anyone in academia. HEAL also functions as a legitimate research methodology. It takes that personal self-inquiry and gives it a formal structure, a framework for participative, first-person research. It suggests that our own conscious experience is an incredibly valuable source of data, one that we can explore systematically to find brand new insights.
All right, so now we get into the really interesting part. If HEAL is a language and a practice, how does it actually work? How can it possibly help us map that complex, sometimes really confusing terrain of our own inner landscape?
This is the big question, isn't it? Our feelings, our memories, our unresolved experiences, they don't speak in words. They speak the language of the body. That tightness in your chest, that knot in your stomach, that sudden wave of heat. The real challenge is learning how to translate these signals, to finally understand what our own bodies are trying to tell us.
Well, the key seems to lie in understanding that our attention isn't just one thing. We have different modes. We all know the selective mode. That's maximum energy, laser focus for getting work done. The opposite is non-selective awareness, which is a minimum energy, receptive state, like just listening to the rain outside. Superposition is the art of balancing both, being focused but also aware. And then there's witnessing, that quiet zero point of pure observation, where we can just watch without judgment. Knowing these states is the first step. But the real breakthrough, the key that unlocks this whole process, is a tool called the body matrix. You can think of it as a decoder ring for the body's language. It's a framework that helps us see how our own neuroendocrine system, our body's hormonal communication network, is literally projecting our unresolved feelings and past experiences onto the screen of our body as physical sensations. So, how does this work in practice? Well, the body matrix acts like a map. It helps us notice a very specific sensation, like, say, a tightness in your throat, and then helps you connect that physical feeling to an underlying emotion, maybe a sadness you couldn't express. Over time, you start to see patterns. You can see with incredible clarity how something from your past is literally replaying in your body today, asking for your attention so it can finally resolve. So, what does this all mean for us, here in the world of learning and research? This is more than just a tool for personal well-being. It really has profound implications for how we even think about knowledge. It opens up a whole new frontier.
What this does is it completely shifts the idea of who the expert is. It empowers every single student, every single researcher to become an expert by experience. It says that your own direct, first-person observation is a valid and even essential starting point for any kind of inquiry. It really democratizes the whole process of discovery.
You can see how this creates a whole new cycle of research. It starts with an individual exploring their own conscious experience, treating it as data. From those direct observations, new theories can begin to form, ones that are grounded in actual lived reality. Then, those insights are shared and cross-validated with a community of others doing the same work. And the most exciting step? We can build entire new curricula from the shared knowledge, creating courses where human experience is the very core of the learning.
And this isn't just some new idea that popped up overnight. The HEAL framework we're talking about is the result of 25 years of dedicated participative research. A quarter-century of work with people across different continents, all refined through thousands of hours of methodical, direct observation.
By grounding our academic work in the rich soil of our own lived, felt experience, we're not just improving our well-being, we are opening the door for profound breakthroughs in knowledge itself. Just imagine it. Psychologists who can map their own inner world, sociologists who understand group dynamics from the inside out. It has the potential to enrich every single field of study.
And that really leaves us with a final, powerful question to reflect on. In a world that has so masterfully learned the language of the external world of objects and data, what new discoveries, what new connections, what incredible potential is waiting for us when we finally become fluent in the language of our own inner experience? What breakthroughs are just waiting for us to listen?